party that can come and intrude. Islam says this is haram. Khalwa is haram. You are at home with another one that she's not related to you. Islam says you cannot do it. You are in the car and driving in the freeway. Nobody's watching, nobody's listening to what you're doing. Islam says this is haram. This relationship cannot, even if both of you are friends, both of you are classmates, both of you are doing research, whatever you're doing, but when it comes to khalwa, you and her, stop that. Why? Because once you two are together, shaitan becomes number 3. And you know what the shaitan does. Eventually, he will lead you to a bad thing. Therefore, people should pay attention. And this talk is mostly directed to my sisters, brothers and sisters. Yes, in this country is a free society. They wish to call whoever they want. Free. The father is away, the mother is away, but they gotta pay attention to their own future. What do they want to do with their future? Many of those boys who come as a gentleman, they know what they want from them. Do they really want to get married? If they want to get married, the path of marriage is clear. When he becomes flirtatious, you tell him, listen, you want to get married? It's very clear. Here are my parents, go and propose. There is a way for everything. But if you just want to flirt, I'm not here for a flirtation. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks to the ladies, and He tells Rasulullah, tells all the Prophet, tell the mu'minat, the ladies, وَلَا يَخْضَعْنَ فِي الْقَوْلِ. The ayah says, فَلَا يَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ فَيَطْمَعُ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٍ. When the ladies speak to others, they gotta be careful how they speak, their style of speeches, you know. Sometimes the woman doesn't know, and she has a nice heart, she's talking to everybody in her own style, but she doesn't realize that this was a signal, an invitation to the man. And the man is there waiting, his radar is on to pick up those signals. So here Islam tells you, wait a minute, when you discuss things, you got to discuss it based on a professionality. Don't be, you know, just like a very close friend, say whatever you want, and then you say, good, you know, this is what I did, I didn't mean anything, I was just based on a friendship, innocent friendship. No. If you look at the crimes, especially the rapes, you see many of those has happened with those people that the victim had a prior acquaintance with them, that they were their friends. But how does the female talk? She goes to the appointment with the most recent style, the most recent fashion, with hairdo, you know, with her hair, and went to a special hair salons, full of perfumes, you know, and everything, dressing in a special way, and then going to the appointment. What does that mean? The poor guy translates this into invitation, that she's inviting me. Now, if he does a bad thing, he's the only victim. But in fact, she has started. She has allowed him to think this bad thing in his ideas, the nasty ideas in his mind. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, even tell, O the Prophet, Ya ayyuhan nabi, قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين أن يدنين عليهن جلابيبهن. If I recite the ayah, وَلِيُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَّ. When they dress, they gotta dress in a modest way, in a good way that they should not show from any part of their bodies or any shape of their bodies. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَنْ يُعْرَفْنَ فَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ. So they would not be harassed. But you tell a guy, you see someone in the street wearing such kind of fantastic clothes and approaching him and having, you know, a nice gesture, nice talk with him, and then you want him to be self-preserved and has taqwa. Have you seen, you give a hungry guy, you give him food, you tell him, look at the food, but don't touch. That's a crazy thing. Therefore, the relationship has to be based on a mutual respect, based on chastity and modesty. Now, The word is with the parents, brothers and sisters. You see, your children are growing. Every day it passes, they're growing, one day older and one day older. It is the parents' duty to put in their mind at what time they're going to get into marriage. You see, one of the rights of the children on the shoulder of their parents is the responsibility of marriage. The parents should start planning for their children. Even if their children right now at age 10 and 11, they should plan for it. Yes, at this age they're not going to get married, but yes, when they get 18 and 19, they're suitable for marriage. Therefore, start to think about it. Even if you have a daughter, don't say, I'm a reputable person, my name is very well recognized, I need to wait until people come and propose to my daughter. Yes, that happens when you are in Qom and Najaf and Karbala. That happens. But here in Dam Halifax, it does not happen. You gotta go and search and find the good son-in-law for yourself. Otherwise, you know what will happen. Therefore, you should search actively. I don't mean that you go and knock on everybody's door and tell them my daughter is available, Bismillah. No, but keep in mind, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When you meet a new family and you see that they have children, they have young adults, keep in mind. Ask about that youth, ask about that boy. Is he something deserved to be your son-in-law? If so, start to have good relationship between your family and their family. That eventually it comes spontaneous by itself. Then you don't have to go and knock on the door. But if you're laid back and say, okay, no, the time has not passed yet, inshallah, there are, 5 years, 10 years from now, they gotta finish their school, no need to rush. Yes, they gotta finish their school. But the fact that you have to keep it in your mind, that if you do not act, then they will act themselves. Then basically you are giving the responsibility to their hand, telling them you decide. Again, do not get from my words that I am pre-arranged marriage. I don't mean that the marriage should be arranged against the will of the bride or against the will of the groom. No. What I am saying that the father, the mother should plan for a suitable, decent person. It doesn't have to be a person, rather the idea, which kind of characteristics they are looking for. One day, one man came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi and told him that I am more inclined to marry this lady, but my mother doesn't like me. She wants another lady. He said, go marry what you like, not what your mother likes. Because you will end up living with her, not your mother. And the same thing, one day one lady, young lady came to Rasulullah and told him, Ya Rasulullah, my father made me marry my cousin. He made the aqd. I don't like my cousin. He said, would you accept his arrangement? She said, no. He said, okay, the marriage is void, the aqd is void, and there is no marital status between the two. He told her father that this marriage is void. The father cannot force the daughter to get married with anybody else, but he can facilitate it. He can